Okay, it's Sunday. Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is that you're watching this. I know I haven't done a video for a week now. I've just been working on some new things and taking my trading game to the next level and actually learning how the banks are actually trading against us and actually taking that into accountability and actually trading with the banks because who's the biggest players in the game? The banks, right? So instead of being on the wrong side of them, you want to be on the right side of them and actually trade with them. So you have to recognize when these moves actually happening and actually recognize when a bank's actually putting an influx of money into trades. And you can see here, my chart layouts are a bit different now. I've kind of taken away the trend lines and all this kind of stuff because would you not agree? The banks are the people that win in the game most of the time. And retail traders, which is the people like us, the people that have like no more than 1 million in our account, retail traders, we're the people that statistically actually lose 96% of the time. Okay. So rather than losing 96% of the time, would you not rather win 4% of the time when the traders, the big banks and hedge funds actually traded and winning? Okay, so you can see this chart here. Okay, you can see I've got a big liquidity zone right here. And if I just hit play on this, considering where it was, I said it's either going to come down onto this level here and bounce up, or it's going to bounce down and keep going down into this big liquidity zone. Okay, so I don't use normal kind of TPs normal. I look for zones rather than a specific price to actually hit TP. So if I just hit play on this, okay, you can see, bam, smashed right through all of that. And where we headed next, this big liquidity zone. Okay, so that's been a very good trade last week. Gold was, well, it treated me very nicely. It helped me have a good weekend. And yeah, I think this is the way I'm going to start trading going forward. So I'm going to show you some other examples that I'm working on for this week. Um, you can see I've posted some ideas here, but I've just literally all weekend be working on this. So I'm going to show you exactly what I've been doing. This is another trade Bitcoin that's gone well so far this week, but I overlooked something. So I posted an update in regards to what I expected because I expected it to come down to this level and bounce up into there. But I don't believe that's going to happen because if I hit play on that, you'll see exactly why it's kind of going to come back down. So I posted an update straight away after that. And this is something I kind of do on my trading view now. So you can actually see an update of the trade and what's actually happening, what's the progress with it, and then actually take into account of what's happening and get into the trade yourself. Okay, so you can see this trade from Bitcoin that I was posted up. So I posted this on Saturday morning, I believe. Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. So you can see, yeah, 3 or 4 in the morning, I believe I posted that. Let me see, does it have a time here? No, it doesn't. But yeah, it was about 3 or 4 in the morning that I was looking at this, posted it, and just went to sleep and then woke up in the morning. And I was like, yeah, it's looking good. So yeah, let's get into this week's chart and what I'm looking at and show you exactly where we're looking to make a profit this week. Okay, so I think the first thing that's going to probably come up is the Bitcoin trade. Yep, here we go. Uh, okay, so you can see I'm marking out all these areas. You're probably thinking, what the hell is going on here? Why do I have pound signs, yellow boxes, arrows, targets, all of this kind of stuff? And it all makes sense because if you're part of my company, IML, then you understand institutional trading. Okay, so this is something I've been working on, and it makes total sense. It makes total sense. Okay, so you saw the gold trade that I posted earlier on. Um, Phenomenal trade. It's done about 600 pips so far, up and down, and we still got like another 400 to 500 pips left on it. We'll go through that later, but you can see I've highlighted this area here and this area here. And then why have I simply done that? Again, institutional trading. They have to buy to sell and they have to sell to buy. So when you see big candles like this, bam, it went up. And what happened next? Big downtrend. Institutional candle. That's where the banks have to get in. Okay. So they bought big. So they're making a loss right now. Okay. They bought big to sell. Okay. Because when they do that, sentimental traders will say, okay, look, it's going to be an uptrend. So what are we going to do? We're going to buy also. Okay, so they start buying from here because there'll be like some 61.8 Fibonacci level or something they'll buy, and all of a sudden, bam, it's gone against them. Here, people say, yeah, it's looked like a nice it's done like, so if I just stretch this out, they'll say, hey, it's done a double bottom, it's done something, and they'll start buying. And where's their stop loss going to be? All below here. Okay, so again, this is where the money is captured. So the banks know that you've traded up and you're putting your stop loss right here. So what do? They buy, make you believe it's going up, and all of a sudden, bam, your stop loss is hit. It comes back up to retest that same area that they bought from. That same area that they bought from. They take out their break even right there, and now they're selling big. And when they sell big, bam, it goes all the way down. Okay, so these are what banks are doing on a daily basis. When you see this on charts, you just know this is where the money is at. So instead of seeing that big candle, you just want to wait. You just want to wait and see what happens. And then probably 90% of the time, this is what's going to happen. It breaks, hits your stop loss, you're out of the trade, and then bam, it goes down against you. Okay, so these are the levels why I mark it as pound signs and yellow boxes, because this is where the money's trapped. And if you can get into the right trade at the right time with the banks, then you can hold a trade for a very nice amount of profit. So you can see this done 1,828 pips. Very nice trade. And then, yeah, let's just move into what we're actually looking at for this week. So you can see here, okay, same example again. And these yellow arrows with the money on top, they basically target areas. So every time you see a double top, a triple top or something, just know at some point, a candle is going to come and sweep all that money out, because this is where the money is. This is where liquidity is. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much into this to confuse some of you guys, because you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about institutional trading, all of this kind of stuff, hitting stop losses. Yeah, but you can see I just marked out the yellow zone. I hit it as a target. I said, look, it's a double top, triple top. At some point, the banks are going to come in here, sweep all of this money, and then go down. And look what happens. Okay, so yeah, you would have sold here because you said, yeah, it's respected. It's a double top, it's a triple top. So you would have sold. Perfect. Where's your stop loss? Your stop loss is right above here. Okay, this whole area here, just above the candles, slightly higher, whatever it is. But the banks know that. So if you're selling this, okay, because the way I used to trade before, I would have done the same thing, and I still do. So I would have said, okay, cool, grab a Fibonacci right from there to the bottom. It's hit my 61.8 level or 70% level. My TP is going to be minus 27. And that would have been correct, because look, bam, minus 27. Okay, that would have been correct initially. Okay, but what happened? Before that move happened, they came back up to here, bam, took you out of the trade, and then went down the way you wanted anyway. Because look, if I put that Fibonacci, look, my TP, as you guys know how I usually use the trade, my TP is the minus 27 and 61.8. So that would have been perfect. It would have hit the minus 27 level, and then I would have been out of the trade, taking my profit, and then head back up. But look what happened before. Okay, so for the banks to win, someone has to lose. And who has to lose? The retail traders. Okay, so they know this. So look, 61.8/70% level was met here. And then it was going down, bam, took out all the retail traders or whoever's in that trade, and then went down to where we wanted to go down anyway. Okay, so I just marked as a target, knowing at some point, the trades or the market is going to come back, sweep all this money, and then go down. So what do? This green area, this green line here was my entry. Okay, this green line here. And I've been trying this out. I haven't posted any Bitcoin trades or anything for some time, but I was just trying this out. I was just seeing what's been happening. Okay, so I was just kind of doing back testing whatsoever. So I put this here because the last up candle before this actually let down, remember, because the banks used to have to buy to sell. And if they want to buy, then they'll sell again. Okay, so here they bought, and then straight away down candle. But I was just looking at this level here because one, with the Fibonacci, two, it kind of had a more equal level. So I put it more down here, but you can see it didn't quite come into the zone before it went down. But either way, you could have started selling from here. As soon as you start seeing this wick candle, you know you're good to go. And then here again, another equal high. Okay, so at some point, I know the chart is going to come, sweep all this money away. Okay, and look what happened. Came into here, retested, and then bam, swept all that money, came back into this green zone that we actually started from. And look, now there's a double top, which many traders will say, yeah, it's respected here, it's respected there, so I'm going to sell. Rightly so. Okay, so you sold, it's come back into here. Like this is what I analyzed on Saturday. It came back into here, and now I wanted to drop into here. Okay, so again, remember I said the banks have to sell to buy and buy to sell. So where's the last time before this uptrend did they sell to buy? Right here. So I'll mark it with my blue line, and look what it's actually matching with right here. Okay, so again, triple bottom. So this is a target area for the banks to now trade into, because they know there's money left behind here, because if people are buying, where's their stop loss? Right below here. So what happens? The chart goes up, you're like, yeah, I'm winning, bam, it takes you out. and then goes in the direction you want to go anyway. It happens over and over again. And like I said, if you're part of IML, then institutional trading, Zachary Hogan and Jordan, I'll definitely introduce you to those guys because they'll literally just they'll blow your mind. You're just thinking, it makes so much sense now. If you're not part of this and you're watching this video from, I don't know, you just found me on YouTube somehow, message me on Instagram, we'll get in touch and then we'll talk about this and literally just go through the whole thing because this literally blew my mind. And just seeing it happen over and over again is just ridiculous. Okay, so you can see here, I marked this area here as a target because the banks are going to know, they know that there's money under that, so they're going to sweep that in due time. So what happens? They sell right there to buy. So they sold, they're making a loss, but they don't mind because at some point they're going to come back here, break even, and then head back up again. Okay, so now you're taking out that trade and the trade's going in the direction that you wanted to go anyway. So I marked this area blue because at some point the banks need to come back here to break even because they're making a loss right now because they sold. Okay, they sold right there. They could have taken a profit here, but at the same time, I know this area hasn't been retested properly. It still hasn't been retested properly. So what am I looking for? On Friday, I believe this was, it literally is, bam, shot down. Again, we had equal highs right here. So at some point I knew this area had to be swept, and then now it's swept, and then I know what's going on now in the chart. I know this area is going to be targeted next for when this comes back up because there's a lot of money sitting right on top of here. Okay, so now on Friday this broke down, and what happens after a fast candle like that? We usually see some kind of retracement before it starts heading down again. Okay, so that's exactly what I was looking for. If we're using a Fibonacci, okay, bam, 61.8 and 50% is the level I was looking for, which is why it's marked green. And then for it to head down, and yeah, literally all weekend, bam, hit that area, it's gone down. It might come back up again and head down, but I know at some point this has to be met. So if we do hit that trade, then we're looking at 834 pips. That's what I'm looking at for this week. I'm already in. I've been in since here. So far this weekend, 346 pips. And again, I was driving today. I took profit here after I saw this big wick. I took profit here and then it came back up. And now I've still got, because I twin trade, I still got one trade running. So I'm still floating around here, but I might enter again if I find another good entry and then take it right down into that area. Okay, so again, like I said, this might sound all abstract to you. You might be thinking, what the hell is going on here? But believe me, if I show you what I've been watching and show you what I've been learning, then you'll think, wow, it actually all makes sense. Okay, so gold. As you know, we've been trading this since last week. Okay, so far, it's done how much pips? So since we quit it here, it done 400 and, let's say 480 pips. Okay, so you can see target area, equal lows. Bam, took that area out. Another equal low here. What do you think is going to happen? Bam, take that area out. Okay, so that's what I want. That's what I want to happen. And then again, you can see equal lows or equal highs, should I say, in this scenario. Okay, so let's just zoom into this and see what actually happens. Okay, so like I said, every time there's equal highs or equal lows, I put that target because I know the banks are going to come into here. They're going to sweep that money. They're going to sweep that money, and then they're going to come and actually sell right back down. So if I go on a 1 hour time frame, you might be able to see this clearer. Okay, so you can see that area has been swept. And then what do I do? Okay, so this was the candle. This was the candle right here that took all of this money. So I just leave it around that area. Okay, usually I put it right at the bottom. Okay, but for this, because I know that's already an equal high, it's going to come into here, break that equal high, come back, act as resistance, and then fall all the way down. So this is where I caught that trade. On, when was this? On the 5th of September. This is where I caught this trade. Okay, so right here, bam, sold. Okay, so 469 pips. And then my entry again for it, I was looking at this area right here. Okay, why is that? Again, we had this equal low that I knew had to be broken at some point. Okay, so you can see this trade broke that area nicely. And then that area right here, that was previous resistance. Guess where I'm looking to enter? Bam, right there. Okay, so again, if we grab our fib right from this movement to the bottom, okay, you can see 50% and 61.8 was my entry points, but just lining up with this, I chose the 50% level. Okay, so my stop loss was slightly higher than this. I just adjusted this not too long ago. My stop loss was around the 70% level, but now I just adjusted it because I've seen the down movement. I saw that down movement, and this is where I entered. Okay, so wait, what am I deleting right now? Okay, so I adjusted it, and now because I know it's broken past this level, if I go on a 15-minute time frame, okay, so you just literally have to work the charts. Look, this area right here was my entry. I said, okay, cool, it's going to break past. It's broke back down, done a little flag movement, and then bam, this is where we enter. So literally on that, I had what was the stop loss? Oh, a 15-minute time frame is not letting me. I believe it was like 50 pips or something. But look at this. If you're trading this way, you literally what might have a 1 pip drawdown, maybe a 1 pip, or even maximum you can have a 10 pip stop loss. Okay, you've got 10 pip stop loss, and you've just gained from there to there 180 pips. Okay, so it just totally makes sense when I learned all this kind of stuff, and I was just like, it just makes total sense. So what area are we looking to break past next, and what do I think is going to happen with gold? I'm waiting for this area to be broken. This is why I've marked it out. And when that's broken, then we're heading to here, and then from there, how far could we go? What can actually happen? Might we finally get all this retracement that's been happening with gold that we've been waiting for a long time? Okay, so let me just refresh this. Okay, so again, banks have to buy to sell and sell to buy. So I've marked out this level. This is where they sold. They sold and they bought here. This is where the uptrend started. So at some point, I want this liquidity area to be met. And that matches perfectly with that trend line right there. Okay, so when this level is finally met, we're going to see what happens. If it breaks past, then I'll be looking for something like this. What one am I looking for right now? No, wrong one. I'm looking for this ABC. Okay, so if this area does break, then I want that retest and then heads into this area right here. Okay, because that's where the money's at. That's where the banks actually bought first. So for this area to be met right here. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for on gold. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But like I said, just message me. If you're part of IML, message me. If you're not part of IML, message me either way, and then we'll teach you how to trade like the banks. Okay, so that's gold. Euro NZD, similar thing. This low before all of this happened. Okay, before all of this happened, I said, cool, equal lows. It's going to be broken at some point. There's money under it. Okay, I'm not sure why my money sign is not there. Let's just put that there real quick. Okay, there was money under that, so I said it's going to be swept at some point. Okay, I said it's going to be swept at some point, and then bam, it got swept, retested off this line, and then heading back down. And what do we have here again? Okay, so on a bigger time frame, there was equal lower lows and double bottoms, double tops, all of that kind of stuff. So that was a target. So I wanted to come into here now, sweep this and potentially go up. Or if I put this on the daily, okay, so the bank have bought here. This is where they started the uptrend. Okay, so they sold to buy. So you can see why I've marked that blue. So I'm looking at one or two things for this now. There's a possibility that this is going to come all the way down to here to retest. Okay, or it's going to come to here and then head up. Okay, and if that does happen, why am I looking at the buy? Because if I just grab this from the low to the high, we've got 61.8, which should head up to this levels here, where the next money pot is. Okay, so I'm either looking for a buy from here to there, or for this to come all the way down here and actually close where they actually bought from in the first place. Okay, so I don't believe that might happen. I'm just going to wait to see what happens at this level, but this is what I'm looking for. I want to buy. Okay, because here they bought to sell, but that level has not been touched yet. It's not been touched yet. They haven't. If anything, they need to break even, right? So the banks have sacrificed some money here and sold, but it's never came back to that level. So this looks like the most likely thing to happen, because if you can see here, we had resistance here, it drops, resistance here, it drops, came back up, had to support, went up, broke past again, resistance dropped, broke past up. So what do you think would happen at this level? I'm looking at a buy here, okay, because I want it to come to this area right here, and then we're looking about 787 pips if that does happen. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Wait to see how the price actually reacts at that level. I'm currently in a sell. I've been in a sell since this candle was retested. Since this area, should I say, was retested. So I've been in a sell. Okay, so currently we're in just over 230 pip profit, and we still got like maybe another 150, 200 to go. Okay, so yeah, basically 200 pips. And then I'm just going to wait to see what actually happens at this level. And then if it's respected, then I'm looking to buy into that level right there. Then we've got about 780 pip move. Okay, so that's Euro NZD. Again, I will be posting this on my trading view if it's not there already. What else am I looking at? GBP USD. Okay, so again, like I said, what do the banks actually do? They have to sell to buy and buy to sell. Okay, so you can see here, they sold. So this was the last candle that sold before this big uptrend. Okay, so I'll just mark that blue. Again, what's next to it? We've got this equal lows, equal highs that have been taken out. Okay, you can see it got taken out by this. This is where they actually sold to buy. So I want it to come down to this level to kind of act as break even. Okay, so they could get their money back. But you can see here again, they bought to sell again. Okay, so if I put this on a 1 hour time frame, you'll see this more clearly. Okay, so here, they bought to sell. Okay, so you could either put this here, you could put this here, or you could put this here. Okay, so for me, I had it right there because on a higher time frame, I was looking across, we had some equal highs over here. So for me, I put that level because that's a little bit more trustworthy for me. So I wanted to see that level be broken as it was, and then I wanted to see it come up to retest this area here. Okay, it might have already been gone because you can see as the market's opened, you can see a gap that's actually occurred there. But usually gaps are always filled. Gaps are always filled when the market actually opens at some point. So you can see this gap right here. Okay, so I expect that gap to be filled at least and then come down. But just looking at this area, either way, you're good for a sell because it's broken past. So come back to retest and then we're heading down. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for GBP USD. Head down to this area, and then what am I looking for after that? Looking to go to the upside. Okay, I want it to then come into here, break into this area here. And again, why am I looking at that to break into that area? So let's just scroll right across. Bam, look, it bought to sell. Okay, so that area hasn't been touched yet. Okay, that area has not been touched yet. So they bought to sell. So I mark at that bottom of that green candle of where they actually bought, and then they sold. So at some point, you can see there's no clean retest on this one. So if we just use our fib from the bottom to the top, you can see the 78% level should be met. And then look where the minus 27% is. And look where the minus 61% is. Okay, so this area right here is money. Money, 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 money. But yeah, so this area right here is money. There's liquidity sitting right there. Okay, so the banks either need to break even right here or they're going to break past this area. Okay, so on the safer side, I've just marked that to where I want it to come to. But first, we need to get this move. So this up move won't happen until, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line. We'll keep an eye on it. So initially, we're looking for this down move, and then eventually we want to head up to these levels here. So that's GBP USD, USD Chef. Just very simple analysis on this. So again, the banks bought to sell. Okay, so I marked that blue. Okay, you can see that level has not been touched. It's not been touched. So at some point, it needs to touch it, right? It needs to come back up. So at first, again, similar to GBP USD, I'm expecting this to come down and then back up. Okay, so you can see again, they bought to sell right here. Okay, so this is the candle. So you could either mark it at the bottom or you can mark it at the top. So for this one, okay, let me zoom in so you guys can actually see this clearer. Okay, so there's 2 entry points on this one. So this candle, they bought to sell, but I like to do the most recent one. So they bought to sell here. So that's the most recent one, but you could have picked any of these and you could see any of these would have been a clean entry because look, it came down, wicked into here, and then it looks like it's heading back down. Okay, so you could have picked any of these two for that entry. Again, fib, but I mean top to bottom, you can see 78% level was met there. So this one would have been a cleaner entry, but you can see it literally just whipped out of the zone, and you would have been in 17 pip drawdown, and then it should be heading down. So you can see again, minus 27 should clean this area here, equal lows. That's a target where the banks want to clear out that money. So equal lows. So I expect it to clear out that money. And then you can see here, minus 61.8 is TP2 that I usually used to use. So that makes it a valid trade for me. So that's what I'll be looking at for this week. And I've already, as the market's opened, actually wait, I was silly about this one because I had a sell limit right here. I had a sell limit right here and I deleted it because I saw this. So I was like, you know what, I'm not too sure what to do. So I was like, you know what, I'll delete my sell limit. And then look what happened. It's literally wicked into here. And then it looks like it's heading down. So if I did have my active sell limit, I would have been in, well, just about, let's say 55 pip profit by now. But I deleted it. So now I'm just waiting for another entry. Okay. So I believe that will be around this area right here. Okay. So I'm just looking at, started from there. That was a nice resist support right there. So yeah, I'm just looking at this level right here. Yeah, that's where I'll be looking to enter. I just monitor that very closely, see what happens. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at for USD Chef to fall into there. And then USD CAD, as you guys know, I posted this last week sometime. Okay, so you can see again, smart money, equal highs, and then banks take it out. And then what happens? Okay, so when they take it out, where do I put my entry? Right here, because that's where they bought to sell. Okay, here again, they bought to sell. So you can literally have two entries on this one as well. So you could have had that there and there. Okay, so let me just make this green. You could have had that there and there, but I entered off this one. Okay, so you can see they bought to sell, and then you just have that. So when the market goes down, you know it's going to come back up to retest one of these entries. I had mine over here, and I had to do a market execution because it kind of didn't come as far into there. So I've done market execution, and then as you can see, where are we targeting? Where's the money? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Where is the money? Where the bank's looking to take this money? Okay, so you can see, I'm trying to get the perfect. So you see equal lows right there before it went up. That got swept very quickly, and it came back up to retest. Where's the next equal low? Right there, they got swept. Okay, so where's the next equal low? Right there, that got swept. Where's the next equal low? Right there. Soon is going to be swept because this will come back up, act as a resistance, and drop, sweep these lows. Okay, another equal low. Where's that gonna? What's that gonna happen? So it's literally just chasing the money, literally just chasing it. If we're coming across here, let's see what's happened over here. Okay, so I think I've marked these out already. So I was looking at equal lows. Okay, so you can see here, equal lows. Okay, so bam, that's gonna be a target where the money's being swept. Okay, and then why I've marked this blue, because where did all this uptrend start from? Okay, where did the uptrend start from? So start from there. Okay, so again, they've sold. I'm not sure why this blue line's right here. That should be here. Okay, again, they've sold to buy. And look, it's gone up and never retested this area here. Never. Okay, so you can see why I've got TP3 is coming all the way down to here. And I've got another one. I've got another blue line right here because again, equal lows should be swept. Again, they've sold here to buy. Okay, and it's kind of just floating around this area. So again, you can see why I've marked all these areas out. So USD CAD, you can see why I said it should go down at least 581 pips. Okay, so you can see it's going down very aggressively. After how many? This was what, months of this just kind of floating around here, kind of retesting, bam, and it's ready to go. Okay, so you can see why I've got this for like 500 pips. So I've marked that up already. I've added these blue lines after I've kind of started trading the way I'm trading now. But if you go on my trading view, then you see the original markup of that. Okay, so that's USD CAD, and then USD JPY is the final one we're going to be looking at for this week. Okay, so here, this could go either way. Okay, so we've got equal lows here that need to be swept out. Okay, then we've got equal highs here that need to be swept out, which did. It got swept. Okay, so now it just, again, that equal lows. And every time I see equal highs or equal lows, I just look left and see where's the next market structure and why is it there? What happened? Did the banks buy and sell, or was it just a normal trade? Okay, so you can see here, I marked that out. I know this is going to be swept out, and look what happened to the wick, bam, and it started going down. So now I don't know if this is going to keep going down or retest off this area. So I'm looking for it to go either way. I was waiting to see what actually happens when the market opens, because I grabbed my fib from here to the bottom of where it currently was. Okay, so you can see 50% was met, 61% was kind of shy. It didn't meet it. So again, not the best of confirmations for what's happening with USD JPY. As you can see, it's been very, very confused for a long time. So I'm just waiting to see if it breaks past here to kind of come back into the zone and go down, sweep these this pool of money, liquidity, or if it's going to break past here, break past this level, add to support, and then sweep this pool of money. So it's just a waiting game with USD JPY currently. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for this week. I'm already in Bitcoin. I'm already in that one for the sell. Gold, again, I'm already in that one for the sell. The market is now open, so let's see what happens. I think we're going to get probably one more movement to the upside. Probably one more movement to the upside before this falls again, hopefully. But yeah, I'm already in a sell for this. I've been in there since there, so far we're holding. Yeah, so far we're holding just about 180 pips, halfway through to the target that I actually want. So we see what actually happens with this market. It might go sideways for a bit, come up a little bit, and then drop again, or I might just, say forget it, I'm breaking past and going up more. But I'm waiting for this to come into here to see what happens, because this area, this equal low, has not been swept yet. So there's a lot of money there for the banks to target, and I believe they won't just leave that money sitting on the table. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for this week. Again, I will post this on TradingView. If you want to message me, follow me on Instagram, which is just jedders._.pipscobar, which I'll put in the description. And then, yeah, just feel free to message me on Instagram or whatever it is. And then, yeah, we'll catch up there. But for now, happy trading. Hope you have a profitable week, and we'll catch up soon. Take care.